John Lusk here of Lusk Archery Adventures. Serious testing, successful hunting. Today I'm going to be testing a head that I tested a few years ago, and I just dug up some of them. I thought, man, I'm going to test it with my 2023 process because they're some of my very favorite heads. It's the Kayuga Gen 2 Pilot Cut. And today I'm going to be testing the 150 grain model. They have quite a few different variations of sizes and quite a few different variations of bleeders that you can insert in there. So I love that modularity. But these are one wicked looking broadhead. I've liked them so much and they perform so well for me in my testing that I've taken them on a few hunts and harvested a really nice buck a couple of years ago in Iowa with one, and then a really old doe. Okay, I shot her with one, but man, even in the field, they performed just as well as I thought they would, according to how well they performed in my testing in the lab. So really impressive broadheads, but I haven't tested this 150 grain one. And again, I haven't tested with my 2023 process. So I'm going to be using that process. And if you're not familiar with it, you can read about it in the description right below this video, or check out a video that I released earlier this year, just called 2023 Broadhead Test Process. So you can understand why I do what I do and the thinking behind it and so forth. And for these tests, I'm going to be using my Bowtech CP28 set at 72 pounds. I'm using Bishop FOC King arrows for most of the shooting, but then I'm using the Bishop Fat Eliminator for the really hard impact shots because they can handle it. All right, let's zoom on in here and check out this cool looking broadhead, go through some of the design features and specifications, and then see how it performs. I think these are some of the coolest looking broadheads on the market today. I have loved these ever since I first ran into them. So this is the 150 grain. Now it's 150 grains with this blank in it. And this blank goes in this little slot. If you just want to use it as a two blade, it's 150 grains. By my measurement with the bleeder that it comes with, it's 158 grains. So just a little over 150 grains. With my bow sighted in for 150 grains, it flies fantastic out to 60 yards or so. It flies just like 150 grains. So that 8 grains is really pretty minimal there. So the cutting diameter in this direction of the main blade is 1 3/16 inches. And then with this bleeder that I have installed that it comes with, that's a 3/4 inch bleeder. So the total cut is 1.94 inches. Now you can get another bleeder that's 1 inch wide, bringing it to a total cut of 2 3/16 inches. And I've also shot animals with those, and that makes a really nice hole. So I love the modularity of being able to use it as a two blade with just that blank, or the 3/4 inch bleeder, or the 1 inch bleeder. Now the blades are also super thick, as you can see here. They're 0.083 inches thick, really thick blades. Even the bleeders themselves are 0.031 inches thick, so they're thicker than some full replacement blades on the market. And the bleeder as well as the main blades are single bevel sharpened all around just to aid in rotation. Now you can see there's a lot of edges to sharpen, and it's at a 33-degree single bevel angle. And for resharpening, the Stay Sharp Guide C kit works perfectly with this broadhead. You can check out their YouTube page, The Innovative Outdoorsman, and they even have a demo showing how to use that C kit to sharpen this Kayuga broadhead, but it works really well. It's all steel. It's listed as stainless steel, but then another place says that it's coated to prevent corrosion. It doesn't feel like a stainless steel. It feels more like a high carbon steel, but I'm not really sure. But it is all steel, and it's brought to a Rockwell hardness of 46 to 48, which they find to be a good balance of durability, as well as edge retention, as well as resharpenability. And with this stout design, I imagine, even though that's a bit on the soft side for some steels, it's so stout and so thick that I imagine it's going to be pretty durable like that. So really impressive looking broadhead. As you can see, it's got this flared design. That's to maximize the cutting diameter, but to minimize the surface area, which is going to aid in flight. as well as penetration. So really eager to put this Kayuga Gen 2 pilot cut 150 grain model to the test and see how it performs. It took 200 grams of force to cut through the wire, which is a 10 on a 10-point scale. It penetrated 8.5 inches. It took no additional force to cut through the wire, which gives it a 10 on a 10-point scale. It penetrated through 60 layers. It rotated 80 degrees at 13 inches. The head is in perfect condition after 3 shots through the MDF. And here it is after the 2 shots through the steel plate. And man, it did really well. There's the slightest bit of edge chatter you can see there right where it flares out in the blade. And man, look at these holes. I mean, a classic S-cut of the single bevel in both direction, and a really nice hole, man, with that wound channel with the bleeders. Those are not going to close up very easily. Okay, it hit really close to another hole, but still, man, it did a number on that cinder block. Here it is after going through all the durability tests, and as you can see, it held together really well. This is after the MDF 3 times, the steel plate 2 times, and then into the concrete. The edges got a little bit shattered on the steel plate, but man, it held together very well, even into the concrete. And the bleeders held together well also. Still spins perfectly true. So what'd you think? Man, it didn't disappoint, okay? I knew it was going to do good and hadn't used them in a while, but, you know, I was really glad to see how well they performed, even with my current new testing. Wow, just a really impressive broadhead. There's not a weakness to it. Love the thickness, love the flight, the sharpness, the penetration, the durability, love the modularity with no bleeder or this bleeder or an even wider bleeder. There's just so much. Oh, and the rotation, it rotates incredibly well. Hard to pull out of a target, but rotates incredibly well with all 4 blades being single bevel sharpened like that. Really, really impressive, and they're not very expensive either. I wish they had like a base here in the States so you didn't have to pay for Australian shipping, but even with the shipping, they don't come out to be very expensive. So check out the score sheet and see how they performed in the areas that matter to you the most, and see if this might be a good fit for you. But again, I say fantastic job, Kayuga. Keep up the great work. Look forward to testing more of your stuff in the future.